Before we begin, if you believe in stories that uncover truth, resilience, and the strength of the human spirit, take a moment right now, click subscribe to join the Untold Struggles family. Because every story we tell here is about those who refuse to be broken. White right pointing backhand index. Subscribe here at their Untold Struggles. It was a quiet Thursday morning in Atlanta, Georgia, sunlight spilling over the rooftops of a neighborhood still half asleep. Cars hummed softly on the distant freeway. Inside a modest two-bedroom apartment, Darius Cole, 38, adjusted the sleeve of his work shirt and reached for his thermos of coffee. The mirror across the room reflected a man who carried both calm and history, dark eyes steady, posture upright, movements precise. But behind that calm exterior was a story few knew. Darius was a former Navy SEAL, a decorated veteran who had served quietly and returned home to a country that barely noticed. Now, he worked as a security consultant for local businesses, a man blending into normal life, trying to stay under the radar. As he prepared for the day, his phone buzzed, a message from his 14-year-old son, Malik, at school. "Love you, Dad. Got my math test today. Wish me luck." Darius smiled faintly. "You got this, champ," he texted back. "Like we trained. Breathe, focus, execute." The words rolled off easily. Discipline, focus, calm under pressure. The same principles that had saved his life more times than he could count. He didn't know it yet, but that same calm would be tested harder than ever, today. Darius stopped by a local hardware store to grab supplies for a security installation job. He parked outside and noticed two police cars idling near the curb. Nothing unusual, until one of the officers began scanning license plates. Darius didn't think much of it. He went inside, paid for his equipment, and walked out. That's when a voice called sharply from behind him. "Sir, stop right there." Two officers approached, one older, with a commanding tone, the other young, visibly nervous. "License and registration," the older one said. "You match the description of someone we are looking for." Darius blinked, confused. "Description? Of who?" "Step away from the vehicle, sir. Hands where we can see them." A few bystanders started filming. Darius' training told him to stay calm, body still, voice steady. "Officers, I'm not resisting. I'm reaching for my ID." He slowly handed it over. The younger cop, jittery, kept glancing toward the computer in the patrol car. Then the older one muttered, "System says this car is flagged, reported in connection with a burglary." Darius froze. His car? Flagged? He had just bought it secondhand 2 months ago. "That's impossible," he said quietly. "Check again. The VIN should be clean." But they didn't. Instead, they cuffed him. "Sir, you're under investigation. Step into the vehicle." The crowd grew. People whispered. Malik's classmate's mother filmed from across the street. The words stung louder than the handcuffs. "Figures," someone said. "Always something." And for the first time in a long time, Darius felt something boil beneath his discipline. Injustice. If you're still watching this, it means you feel it, that tension between truth and perception. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss stories that pull back the curtain on what really happens beneath the surface. White right pointing backhand index. Subscribe here at their Untold Struggles. Hours later, Darius sat in an interrogation room. No phone call. No lawyer yet. He watched through the glass as the officers laughed with a detective outside. Inside, he replayed every choice. His purchase, the receipt, the VIN check he'd done himself. Everything had been clean. The door opened. Detective Keller, mid-40s, cold gaze, entered. "Mr. Cole, you know why you're here." "You said something about a burglary," Darius replied. "But I didn't do anything wrong." "You own that black Dodge Charger outside?" "Yes." Keller laid down a printed photo, a blurry security image. A man with roughly the same build as Darius, wearing a hoodie. "That's not me," Darius said, his voice firm. "I can prove it. Check my GPS logs, check my phone records. I was at work." But Keller smirked. "We'll see." For the first time, Darius felt what it meant to be unseen, to have his words dismissed because someone had already decided his story. Malik came home to an empty house. His father didn't answer calls. By nightfall, panic hit. He reached out to his aunt, Renee, who was a journalist for a local paper. Renee made some calls, and within hours, she found out Darius was being held without charges. She drove down to the station, voice sharp and fierce as she confronted Keller. "You're holding a decorated Navy veteran without evidence? You realize who you're dealing with." Keller froze. "Navy? What?" Renee pulled up a news article from 5 years ago. "Local hero receives medal for saving 12 civilians overseas." The shift was instant. Silence filled the room. The officers looked at one another, shame replacing arrogance. By morning, Darius was released. No charges. No apology. But that wasn't the end. Because the story had already gone viral. Someone had uploaded the video. Millions watched, and the world saw the calm, quiet veteran standing tall in handcuffs, never once losing his dignity. Days later, the mayor's office called. They wanted to meet Darius privately. It turned out, the flag on his car was from a clerical error. Another car with a similar plate number had been involved in a crime. A simple mistake, with life-changing consequences. The city promised to review procedures. But Darius knew that wouldn't be enough. He didn't want revenge. He wanted awareness. He stood before cameras a week later, calm, measured, unwavering. "I'm not angry," he said. "I'm disappointed. Not just in the system, but in how easily we stop seeing each other as people." He paused. "I served to protect this country. I never thought I'd need that same courage here, at home." The room was silent. Then, applause. Months later, Darius founded a non-profit called Project See Me, a mentorship and training program that connected veterans with local police departments to improve communication and understanding. He trained officers in de-escalation, empathy, and tactical calm, the very skills that had kept him alive overseas. But one evening, while packing up after a session, he received an anonymous envelope. Inside, a photo, a still from a body cam he hadn't seen before. It showed Detective Keller talking to someone before Darius' arrest and handing over cash. A chill went through his spine. The frame widened and revealed a familiar face in the corner. Someone from the same company he once worked for. Someone he trusted. The screen faded to black. Sometimes the battle doesn't end when the uniform comes off. And sometimes, the truth is closer than you think. To be continued. If this story moved you, don't scroll past it. Hit like, drop a comment, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And make sure you're subscribed to the Untold Struggles, because Part 2 will leave you speechless. White right pointing backhand index. Subscribe here at the Untold Struggles.